Yeah, case in point for something I said in the previous video. I own 3 drills that can be used as hammer drills currently. Be nice if I could get access to one, because I have my own tasks I want to do. So now I've got to go and try and hunt for one that I can prize loose from somebody. So I did a walk around, not a huge amount to report. I just moved some stuff around, and I've installed the bench vise on the end of the bench here, but perhaps a little bit too close to the edge because it's cracking out the concrete when I put the masonry bolt in. So I happen to have a right angle, fairly heavy right angle bracket which I've wrapped around the corner to provide a bit of extra strength. Apart from that, the 2 1 metre grills have made up their way down here from the rice factory. I do have another one of these polymer poles, so I'm thinking I'll experiment with strapping it to the fence here with some appropriate metal brackets and masonry bolts. And once I get that position straight up and down, I shall transfer the head across and pull this pole out. That's the theory. We're only 5 or 6 degrees south of the equator here, so day length doesn't vary much at all. It's usually sun up around 6 and sundown around 6. So it came as quite a revelation to Jabita when she came to Australia, and the day length varied with the seasons. That didn't seem right. But here we are. And it's very different in the tropics, I can tell you. This morning walk around, I'm out and about a bit later than usual. I'm thinking about this magnetic lock for this rear airlock sliding door. Yeah, tiling continues. Well, came over to see what options I had for attaching this on the face of the sliding door and this on the face of the frame, and that way the plane of the frame and the sliding door will actually be behind these, but that shouldn't be a big problem. The magnet that goes on here, electromagnet that goes on here, has got a cable that goes through there, so what I have to do is find machine screws which will screw through this into metallic frame. So I'll think on this further. So roughly 2 metre section has been done and painted. So now I guess we're working on the side plate. These pieces of channel line will be for the pieces that run along the length of the pit underneath the cross pieces made from I-beam that go underneath the grate. So collectively they're supposed to add up to 26 centimetres. Well, it's the end of the day walk around. The guys brought bits and pieces over to work on these grates today, and I could see that they had not understood what I was getting at with my design, so I pointed out a few things to them, so they've gone away to do a bit of different work now. So I will eventually get what I want. But yeah, that's just par for the course. There's language difficulties and they don't fully understand my concept sometimes. But once it's pointed out, sometimes we can get it sorted out before things get finalised. Sometimes things get finalised and they say, wasn't what I had in mind, but then you learn to live with it. What I've been up to today is preparing my mount for the magnetic door lock for the back airlock sliding door. I need to get some 50mm long 3mm thickness machine screws with countersunk heads and corresponding nuts. So I've ordered those. They needed to mount the plate for the electromagnet, but I'm building a mount for the metal block that latches onto. So I'll probably get that installed the next day or two, and I've figured out where to put the touchpad and the control box, so I may get those installed the next day or two also. Be ready for the screws to turn up to mount the magnet. So I can mount everything except the magnet with what I have on hand. Just going to continue doing a little bit of work with it. Yeah, so that's where we're at. And I've decided that with this weather station, what I'll do is I'll take my other poly pole and I'll put it up in that corner up there in the fence. And I've got some galvanised metal strap with right sized holes in it that I can put a couple of bolts, masonry bolts either side of the pole into the two wall fences. I'll show you later. I'm hoping that someday Azra won't be busy and he can come back and finish the plumbing here. And well, I'll fix the leak on the output of the south tank, and that stainless steel ladder that you may be able to see sitting up there against the wall, that actually belongs inside the north tank. So at the current time the north tank is empty, so that he can get in there and do that. And there's rain forecast a few days away, so I'm hoping that he comes back and finishes up here so we can wash out the front tank and be prepared for incoming rain. Well, it's afternoon the next day and I haven't reported in all day yet because I've been working on mounting all this stuff up. So I've got the control box and the box for the press button. So this is the exit button, and these are the wires through from the fingerprint sensor on the other side. But I wired this guy up to test because I've got my magnetic latch there and its plate it's got to connect to, and that's all bolted down. But I connected power to the magnetic latch, and like I've got a 12 volt power supply here, and that's turned on. You can see it'll grip those pliers, but not strongly. And I'm not afraid of going out here and letting the door close on it, because I know it's just not holding. So I don't know what to do now. I don't know whether I've got a dud magnetic strike or a dud concept. I guess I'm going to have to try and buy another magnetic strike and see whether a change out will fix that. Well, that's very disappointing. Well, after the disappointment with the electronic door lock, thought I'd have a go at another thing. So what I've done is I've strapped that pole into the corner up there, which you can make out if I can focus there. What I'm going to do now is move the head from this over to there. So, well, it's a couple of minutes later. That's done. I'm pretty happy with that. And Jabita likes my gas torch. I've got to buy another one to save for her. She reckons it works really well, lighting the rubbish on fire. Off we go. Well, after yesterday's efforts, I'm back on
normal process with walkabouts. So here we are at the rice factory, and the painting of the first 1 metre grill. Or maybe a second, it's continuing. Brought it down for a test fit yesterday. Actually brought it down for a test fit yesterday, and it's all good. It's bloody heavy, so that crane is necessary. May actually buy a 1 tonne crane hoist because it'll be much quicker and much higher rate of ascension when pulling on the train. Might be geared as low because it takes a lot of hauling on the train to hoist this thing up very far. So here's a 1 metre section, another 1 metre section up there getting fabricated, and then it's a matter of this 6 metre beam here will be chopped up into shorter legs to go as cross pieces for this 2 metre section. And here we have the prep work for making steps. I believe I've commented before how backroom is a noisy place. Yeah. Well, I guess it's true. Us having these projects for people to do things and providing them with the power tools to do them. So, air compressor for the spray gun, and 1500 watt hammer drill. Without either of those, things would take a lot longer and be a damn sight quieter too. The weather station is still in place. I don't expect that to go anywhere easily. I think it's fairly securely bolted into that corner now. I'm really hoping this tank will seal itself up. You can see roughly where the level's up to. And it's only around part of the sides here. This part doesn't seem quite as bad as it was. Like previously it was leaking enough there to run across and down along the wall. So I'm thinking maybe that leak is reducing. I hope. This is still at about 8,500 litres in there. Not complaining about that. Those tiling guys are still working at the back of the house, but I have one more task for them after they've done that, and that's to put a little shelf here where you see the blue tape, because I figure that people who are going to be coming along here to work at this bench may want to charge their phones. There's charger ports at the top of that power strip, and it'd be nice to have somewhere to put the phone while it's charging. So I think a small shelf there with a lip around it so phones won't slide off would be a helpful thing. That's the after lunch visit to the rice factory. So it looks like the 2 1 metre sections are complete apart from paint, and for the 2 metre section well done those 5 cross beams, and then use the thin sheet for doing the sides around. And painting continues. And preparation here continues to put some steps in. Not sure if it's clear that I want steps there too, but oh. I came in here earlier and distracted one of the guys because I'd drawn up a little shelf to put over at the shed. Apparently he found that was more interesting than what he was doing, because he went off and started on that immediately, which wasn't quite my intent. I forgot to say we put up this solar powered street light the other day too. Allegedly 200 watts, but I think it's putting out less brightness than the 27 watts surrounding the shed. This is what they're up to at the moment. They've got the so those rods that stick out this way are embedded in the wall, and they're just putting up the formwork to put concrete there. And I was struggling with this earlier. You can see the handles are closed, but the jaws are not, which implies to me that this adjustment screw here needs to be wound in, prop that out to, yeah. Anyway, can't move that at all. So I'm going to try and apply heat to it later, maybe. See if that helps. But yeah, can't really expect to cut stuff off completely if the drawers don't close. So they've been using the angle grinder. If I can muster up the motivation, I can actually come back and finish wiring this up. I decided I'm not going to include the wireless remotes. Just needs to have the exit button on the inside here and the fingerprint pad on the outside. I can wire up everything in preparation for just when later we get the replacement magnet up there, and just wire that back in down here. Job's right. But yeah, got to summon some enthusiasm for that first. It's the end of day walk around in preparation of the back door step is continuing. 2 1 metre grates and the rolling tray are pretty much done, apart from putting U-bolts in the centre of them as a lifting loop, and might be an approximation of one there, perhaps not. But yeah, the 2 metre section is coming along. We have the side plates on it, so there'll be some end plates added and a whole lot more painting. And probably a lot more welding too. And that's going to be a heavy bugger. I wonder how they're going to pick that up to transport it down to the shed. Really, what we should do is put the forks on the compact truck loader and use that to move it down there. I think they must have got tired when they got near the end of doing the welding for this side, because some of those don't look quite as straight as they might. Not complaining though. Well, we've got the concrete on the shelf, and you can see back corner over there they've left a gap like I asked. That's where any water or dust, whatever, can be swept out easily, and gathering in the corners. So I guess that'll be done fairly quickly. I've updated my shed design drawing with an approximation of what that shelf looks like, after providing them with an initial drawing saying vaguely what I wanted. So that looks to be coming along. This video is long enough. Time to tack this on the end and do another upload. Won't be much going on tomorrow because off to Panambang in the afternoon.